is heading in the same way. But even though Malaysia is not like it was a Hong Kong situation, that's different. But Malaysia right now, it's the target for China. Okay, that's what Malaysia is right now. All right. The way the Chinese corruption plan or world conquest plan works, it is it's run almost like by a textbook. What the Chinese do in order to corrupt a country, okay, like Malaysia, first the countries already have to have had corruption problems. So then the Chinese target the country with money. But how do they target the country with money? They do it by announcing that they're going to do super large projects inside that country. Now, how does the whole corruption scheme work? Well, let's say you are a top Malaysian official. You belong to the Malaysian government. You're a top official. The Chinese say, we're going to build a port or an airport, okay, or this giant industrial area in your country. It's going to cost $16 billion. What does the corrupt official in that country do? They start to open construction companies and cement companies and steel manufacturing companies. But they don't open the companies under their names. Either they open them up or they negotiate deals with these companies, with these construction companies or steel manufacturing companies, okay, or construction companies. What they do next is these companies that are in that country will start to open foreign bank accounts in countries and other countries that don't really report to any other countries. I mean, they're corrupt countries. Okay, they start opening up these phantom or offshore accounts and these other overseas. So the Chinese know that they cannot give the money directly to this official from this country. What they do is the Chinese, once they get the contract to start building the port or start building the facility, whatever they're going to build, they start to hire this official's construction company, manufacturing company, or cement company. They hire them to start doing some of the work. A lot of times the Chinese bring in their own labor force to do the work, okay? But what happened is they just need the construction company from that country just needs to show as a present on site, and then they will move millions or perhaps billions of dollars through those companies to offshore accounts. Okay, that company then starts moving money to that corrupt official offshore account, and this is the way the money is laundered through China and the corruption. But the problem is these officials in those countries that are being corrupt by China don't realize that the whole thing is a trap. It's a trap by China. Okay, what China does is collects all the transaction, all data, takes video, takes recording, does other stuff to corrupt that official, and records and keeps all that. Okay, all that information, all that corruption with them. When the time is right, the port is completed. First of all, now that government owes billions of dollars to the Chinese government. That the Chinese have bought that corrupt official. If that corrupt official decides to turn on China, then China has all the proof to dump it into the press of that country of all how this official owned this company and was laundering money, corruption money, Chinese money. So this person ends up being hung, being put in prison or who knows what. Okay, so they're not going to do it. They're not going to go against China, knowing that China has so much proof of their corruption. So this is the way the Chinese take over a country. So now what they do is they go to those corrupt officials in that country and say, well, our next step on that port that we build you, we're going to bring in our Navy ships, and we're going to build a Chinese military base also there. And then those people, because of their corruption and all the money they owe to the Chinese, have no other choice but to allow the Chinese to go ahead and do that. This scenario is what happened to Pakistan. It's what happened to Sri Lanka. It's what's happening to Myanmar. It is what's happening to Nepal and other countries that the Chinese are moving into. South America is about to fall into this scenario, different countries in there, because the Chinese are using that textbook approach for their world conquest. So what happens once China moves in troops into look what happened about 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. A top Chinese PLO general, People's Liberated Army general, went to Sri Lanka, told the Sri Lankan government he was going to build a base in Sri Lanka. He didn't go. The press reports it as him going to negotiate. He didn't go to negotiate anything. He just went to tell them that he's building a base there. All right. And the Sri Lankan government, because it took so much money and corruption, and from these contract companies that they put in place to work with the Chinese, so they can launder money through those companies, okay, sold their country to China. China now owns Sri Lanka. And the same thing they are doing to Pakistan. The same